La 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 la. What's up, guys? My name is Priscilla and welcome to Kim Dave, the place where you get a front row seat on everything DIY, fashion, and bits and pieces of my life since after fashion school. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my top 5 tools that I think would ensure that you become a successful DIY girl. So these tools are things that are quite basic and easy to access either online or in your local sort of DIY shop. If you'd like to hear what these tools are, keep watching. If you're new to the fam, I'd like to give a special welcome to all the newbies in the house. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and deciding to watch. Take a seat, relax, and enjoy. If you're an OG, you guys are like the realest deal ever. So if you'd like to hear what these tools are, keep watching. If you aren't subscribed already, please subscribe. It's a red gorgeous button. It's here or here. Just click through, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell as well, so you get notified every single week whenever I have new videos up on the channel. But before we get into this video, I just wanted to make a special announcement. I'm going to be having my first ever sewing class, and I have been planning this thing for some good number of weeks now, and initially I was really scared of doing it because I have no experience whatsoever actually teaching people like face to face. I just do YouTube videos and I enjoy doing that, but I thought it would be brilliant to create such a special class where you can make a dress for yourself, and this is a dress that you'll be able to wear during Christmas, New Year, and in the future. So I partnered with Little Hands Design, a studio based here in London, and what I really love about this studio is they make fashion sort of accessible to all. They teach kids, teenagers, and adults, and they just make it seem so simple, and you know, it's not rocket science. Everyone can do it as long as you put your heart and mind into making it happen. So the event is scheduled for the 10th of December and tickets are available. Early bird tickets are already on sale. I have left a link down below so you guys can check it out and get your tickets. It's going to be a fairly small class because it's just me and possibly someone else helping, so I don't think there'll be more than 15 people max. So the spots are limited. Please get your tickets today. It would be so amazing to meet you guys, sew along with you guys, get to know you, and yeah, I can't wait. I really can't wait. I am a mixture of excited, nervous, not overwhelmed yet because we're still in November, but yeah, I'm excited to do this, and I hope you guys would partake in it as well. At the event, you'll receive sewing patterns for the dress design. I have also left a link below to the dress design so you know what it looks like before you actually buy a ticket and come for the event. So the dress design is fairly simple, but once you buy a ticket, it gives you access to patterns. So once you come that day, all you have to do is work with the fabric you bring or be provided with fabric. You also have a goodie bag as well as nibbles. I don't want to call it lunch yet because I don't want to raise people's expectations and people turn up and be like, oh, where's the lunch? I thought I said it was going to be lunch. So you have nibbles, a goodie bag, sewing patterns, and tools, equipment, sewing machines, pressing iron, everything you would essentially need to make a dress come to life. Alright, so in this video I have rounded up my top 5 tools, and what I've done is I have sort of written down their prices, their functions, and why I think they're really important. I decided to do this video because I thought it would be really, you know, sort of insightful to anyone deciding to start out to make their own clothes or, you know, go on the whole DIY journey. And these tools are quite basic, they're simple, they're things that you can actually get online or in like a DIY craft shop close to you. So I'm going to start out with my favorite tool ever. See, don't think I'm a weirdo, but I actually quite like working with scissors. So I have a total of 6 scissors because there are different types of scissors for different types of jobs and different weights, different designs. Some are more decorative, some have actual functions. And these are all of them. I feel like I should give my scissors names because they're also very precious to me. And I got these 2 while I was in fashion school. This one is a fabric scissors. It's quite heavy duty and you never cut anything else other than fabric with a fabric scissors. Like it is a crime in the DIY world to cut paper or anything else with your fabric scissors. Like if you just want to make a fashion designer really mad, just take a fabric scissors and cut paper in front of him or her. just tell me what happens afterwards. So this is the fabric scissors I have. I prefer to use this one, which is a paper scissors. This one is slightly lighter in weight compared to this one, and it cuts just as well. So I use this one to cut both paper and fabric. And scissors usually cost from as little as, I don't know, £1 to as much as £10 plus, depending on the type of scissors you're going for. So these two here are more like what I would use to cut bias binding, like more light duty. They're not as intense as the fabric one. Other two scissors I have here, I call them my baby scissors because I use them to cut thread when I'm sewing. So you know, when you're done stitching and you pull the fabric out and you have the lingering thread, I use either of these two. So this one I got at uni, and this was the one thing that if you don't protect at uni, it just always would disappear from your side. So everyone would mark theirs with one thing or the other. I decided to tie this material around my one. I know you can remove it, but people just respected the fact that there was a material there and it belonged to Priscilla, and you would return it when you're done. So this other one, I got it as a birthday gift from George, and it's quite cute, pretty. It looks like a little bird, and it makes like a chipping sound when you cut with it. The next tool I'm going to be talking about is something that I'm fairly new to. I remember seeing it for the first time when I came to London. I was like, what is that? And it is the tracing wheel. It comes in a plastic container like this, and it looks like this. So it has pointed sort of teeth around this wheel on top, and it rotates when you move it on the surface. So it's perfect to transfer information from one piece of pattern paper to the other, or to trace around the garment onto pattern paper. And this thing, I swear, is so useful, especially when you have to go around curves, when you have to go like in those corners that you cannot really reach with, I don't know, like a pen or anything bigger than this size. So I really enjoy using a tracing wheel, especially when I'm drafting pattern. You would have noticed that in all of my pattern videos, I usually would use this tool right here, and it costs around £5 more or less, depending on your budget and depending on if you want something more basic and something a bit more fancy. So there you go, my good old friend, the tracing wheel, and we're matching. The next tool I'm going to be talking about is the tape measure. I believe this is like the barge. You know how people have like barges that you pin onto yourself to say your name or something? This is the barge for every seamstress, every fashion designer, because you usually see it around your necks when they're working, because you need it so much to check your measurements, to check if you have everything right, to double check as you sew along the way. That's why we usually have it around our necks while we sew. And tape measures are so cheap. I think you can even get one for as cheap as 80p, which is less than £1. So if you want something a bit more stable, something that will last longer, then you most likely pay more for a tape measure. But I think this is like the one thing that I believe should be in your top 5, I don't know, shopping list if you're looking to get like sewing equipment or sewing tools, because the beautiful thing about the tape measure is it's flexible, so you can go around curves to double check, like around armholes or around curved waistbands, just to like double check if you have the measurements right. And I think it's really useful and important. Okay, so we are going to be talking about rulers next. I don't know if you can really call these rulers, but I just call these two rulers. So this is a Pattern Master that has a curved end around here and it has a straight bit around here. Listen, in uni, this thing, if you don't write, like my name is still on mine, I don't know if you can see it, but if you don't write your name on this thing, the way it used to fly from your bag, I don't even understand what people did with it, but some people would just leave their Pattern Master somewhere, go back, and it would be gone. Who took it? Nobody knows. So this was a priceless tool when I was in uni. That's why I made sure I kept mine till I was done. And it's a little bit pricey if you want to buy it, because the thing is, when we got into uni, we got a box that had all of the tools and equipment that we needed, and that box I think cost like £300. So people were very careful with their tools. So this Pattern Master, I find it very useful, especially when I want to draw curved lines and when I want to add seam allowances to curved lines, because this inner bit here is curved and this is exactly 1 centimeter. which is your seam allowance. So either the inner one or the outer one is quite useful to add seam allowances around curved ends. And on this straight side, you have 1 cm, 2 cm, and so on and so forth. And you can use it to add seam allowances along sort of straight parts of pattern or garments. So the other one is called, I think it's called a grader square. I call it a set square because it reminds me of the set square in what's that thing called? Math set in high school. This was what the set square looked like. So this one is shaped like a triangle and it's perfect if you just want to square out places. So let's say the bottom of a skirt, for example, you have a line here and you just want to square it out to make the hem of the skirt. You just put it there, draw, and you're done. That's why I really quite like working with this. Last but certainly not least is my cotton mat. I have had this mat since the beginning of fashion school, and Lord, when I tell you this mat has been so good to me, I feel like we have a connection because you cannot use that tracing wheel on a wooden table because it's just going to create holes on your table. And we had a wooden table at uni. I have a wooden table here. So cutting mats are very essential if you want to use a tracing wheel or if you want to cut leather material with a blade. You just have to have one of these. So this is the sort of size of this one, which is, I think it's about the size of 2 A4 sheets. It's very flexible, you can bend it, and it's quite thick. So if you cut like with a blade, if you cut a fabric or paper and you cut on this mat, it doesn't go through to the other side. That's why I quite like this cutting mat. You can get bigger ones if you have a bigger studio or if you want to cut a bigger piece of material. So cutting mats usually cost from about £4 to £6, and all of these prices are prices I found on Amazon. I'm sure you find something cheaper if you dig deeper. I'm pretty sure of that. And there you have it. Those are my 5 tools that I love so much, I value so much. And if you are looking to shop crafting tools, you should definitely put those 5 on your shopping list as well. If you have any suggestions, questions, and ideas, please ask them down below. If you have any questions specifically about the upcoming sewing event, please ask. I am open to answering all of them because it's the first time I'm doing something like this, so people might just be curious about one thing or the other. But however, thank you so much for watching. Until my next video, have a good morning, afternoon, and evening wherever you are. Bye.